If you have chosen a big goal, don't get stuck on small goals. Small goals will give you joy, create some pride, and give your mind peace that you have achieved something. These thoughts become obstacles to reaching the big goal. If you have chosen a big goal, don't pay attention to small goals on the way, because if you get influenced by small goals, you will never reach your ultimate goal. Our story today will show you the path to consistently reach your ultimate goal. Before you get lost in this story, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Now let's start the story. It was a time when Gautama Buddha was wandering from place to place in search of self-realization. During this journey, he crossed the Ganges River and reached the Magadha Empire. The Magadha Empire was renowned for spiritual gurus who had attained enlightenment, and Gautama Buddha, known at that time as Siddhartha, was also in search of a guru who could impart teachings on how to attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death. So, most gurus used to reside in high mountains or forests. Siddhartha tirelessly wandered to the ashrams of these gurus and reached them, even if it required considerable effort. He had to cross many rivers and mountains, whether it was raining or scorching sun. He continuously searched for them. Months turned into years this way. During this journey, Siddhartha met ascetics who sustained themselves by consuming fruits and tubers from the forests without accepting cooked food. They rigorously practiced severe austerities. These ascetics believed that through such intense penance they would be reborn in heaven after death. One day, Siddhartha said to them, "Even if you attain birth in heaven through such austerities, the suffering on earth will continue for those who live here. True pursuit of Dharma means finding solutions to the sufferings of life rather than renouncing life itself. It is true that even if we make our bodies as robust as those who are attached to worldly pleasures, the problem won't be solved. However, subjecting the body to extreme hardships also doesn't bring any benefits." After spending 3 to 4 months in some ashrams, Siddhartha's search continued. Despite the increasing intensity of his meditation practice, he had not succeeded in finding the true path to liberation from the sufferings of birth and death. Time was swiftly passing, and it had been 3 years since Siddhartha left his home. Sometimes, while sitting in meditation in the forest, images of his father Shuddhodana, wife Yashodhara, and his son Rahul, along with memories of his childhood and youth, would cross Siddhartha's mind, creating a sense of longing. However, he held a firm belief that one day he would discover the true path of real Dharma. One day, while residing alone near the Pandava mountain close to the capital city of Rajgriha, the time had come for Siddhartha to transcend his worldly pursuits. One day, he arrived in the capital to seek alms. His graceful walk and the serene and fearless expression on his gentle face caught the attention of people on both sides of the road. As he walked with such composure, it seemed as if he were a lion traversing a mountainous jungle. By chance, at the same time, the king of Magadha was passing by in his chariot. The king instructed his charioteer to stop the chariot so that he could have a good look at Siddhartha. Siddhartha was provided with food by one of the king's attendants, and the king ordered someone to follow him discreetly and find out where he lived. The next day, the king, riding on his chariot, visited the place where Siddhartha was residing. Leaving his vehicle at the foot of the hill, the king climbed the hill with one of his attendants to reach Siddhartha's dwelling place. At that time, Siddhartha was sitting under a tree. The king approached to pay his respects, and Siddhartha stood up. Seeing his attire, Siddhartha realized that he was the king of Magadha. Siddhartha joined his palms and gestured for the king to sit on a large rock, taking a seat himself on another stone. The king, fascinated by this conduct, introduced himself and invited Siddhartha to accompany him to his capital. He expressed a desire for Siddhartha to spend some time with him, sharing his teachings and wisdom for mutual benefit. King Bimbisara believed that Siddhartha's presence would bring peace and prosperity to the Magadha kingdom. Siddhartha, with a smile, declined, stating that he was accustomed to living in the forest. The king expressed concern about the harsh lifestyle, the lack of a comfortable bed, and the absence of servants to assist him. "If you agree to accompany me, I will accommodate you in my palace. Please come with me to the capital to impart your teachings," Siddhartha responded. Your Majesty, the life of a king's palace does not appeal to me. I am dedicated to seeking a path that brings liberation from suffering for myself and all living beings. Living in a palace is not suitable for a monk like me, who is engaged in the pursuit of this inner exploration. The palace life does not align with my quest to alleviate the suffering of all beings." Hearing this, the king said, "You are still young like me. I need a friend with whom I can openly share the thoughts of my mind. Since I have seen you, I feel a sense of camaraderie with you. Come with me, and if you accept, I offer you my half-kingdom. When you become old, become a monk again." Hearing this, Siddhartha says, "I appreciate your generosity and protection. However, the truth is that my only desire is to find a path that liberates all beings from suffering. If I do not use the strength and energy of my youth now, I will regret it in old age. Life is so uncertain that illness and death can strike at any time. The internal unrest in my heart, caused by anger, lust for power, jealousy and pride, was pervasive. When I find the path of true Dharma, the suffering of all beings can come to an end. If you have true love for me, allow me to continue on the path I have been following for so long." Siddhartha's words deeply impact King Bimbisara. He says, "Your strong and determined words have pleased me. Can I ask you, dear monk, where you are from, and what is your lineage?" Hearing this, Siddhartha says, "Emperor, I come from the Shakya kingdom, residing in Kapilavastu. King Shuddhodana is my father, and Queen Mahamaya was my mother. I was the prince there and the heir to the throne. However, to seek the path of true Dharma, I wanted to become a monk. That's why I left my parents' wife and son 3 years ago." Upon hearing this, the king was astonished. He said, "So, you are of royal lineage yourself?" The relationship between the Shakyas and the Magadhan royalty has been strong for a long time. How foolish I was to talk about my kingship and wealth, requesting you to carry the burden with me. Please forgive me. I want to know if you will visit my palace from time to time and allow me to offer you meals. And when you find the path of true Dharma, will you kindly return and impart teachings to me as your disciple? Will you give me these assurances?" Siddhartha joined his hands and replied, "I promise that whenever I find the path of true Dharma, I will come back and impart teachings about it." The king bowed in front of Siddhartha and then descended the mountain with his servant. Later that day, Siddhartha changed his dwelling place because he feared that the young king's frequent visits might disrupt his meditation. Moving towards the south, he found another suitable place for his meditation. He discovered the ashram of a great sage named Mudrak from Ramaputra. The ashram was not far from Rajgriha. In the ashram, there were 300 monks residing, and around 400 monks practiced meditation in the surrounding areas. Siddhartha proceeded towards their ashram. Friends, Siddhartha could have accepted the king's proposal and comfortably pursued his meditation in the royal palace. However, as he had chosen the path to attain true Dharma, he realized that staying in the palace would not lead him to that goal. Therefore, he did not accept the king's offer. In a similar way, when we start progressing towards our big goals, we rejoice with a little profit along the way. However, achieving only a small benefit does not let us reach our ultimate goal. If you want to reach your ultimate goal, it is necessary not to focus on the small goals that come in between. Overlook them and keep moving forward, because the joy and convenience you will gain at the ultimate goal will be far beyond these small goals. Therefore, consistently move towards your goal. How did you find this story? Let me know in the comments section, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next story. Until then, take care and stay blissful.